Whiskey Jason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, often tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. And take a look at this Devil's Clown. I mean, that is fantastic, isn't it? I was at a whiskey fair just a few weeks ago in Wuppertal. It's a city here in the Ruhr Valley. If you know a little bit about Germany, you know maybe where Dusseldorf is, maybe you know where Dortmund is, and basically between those two. And I had a booth there. I was doing my N10 bourbon products. And then right beside me was this brand new brand for the very first time ever in Germany, Devil's Clown. Three people actually started this, and it's 350 milliliters, so never make its way to America. It's not a legal bottle size. 750 is legal in America, 375 is legal, but not 350. Over here in Europe, 700 milliliters legal, and half of that is 350. So, love the design, love this. This is 65.5% 3-year-old German single malt. So we have a mixture here of bourbon barrel, one bourbon barrel, one sherry, and one ex-Islay cask. So the very first time I tried to open this, I was very confused because I thought this was a cork. It even looks, it has a wood optic on here. I don't know if you can see this or not, but it looks like wood. And so and then it's like, wait, it turns. Okay, good. It's a screw top. Yay. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this in my glass for a couple of minutes. I'm going to show you a little bit about the website. It's only in German, but I'm going to just say look at the pictures. Yeah, I'm not reading the news articles. I'm looking at the pictures. All right. So here we have devilsclown.de. All right, this picture is what it's all about here. All right. So there's a building where we had the whiskey fair, the whiskey festival, and it's called Codex. And Codex is a co-working co-working office space building. So you can rent a hot desk, you can rent an office, you can rent whatever. And inside a building, someone graffiti artist put this on there. And they liked that, and so they actually found a different artist. I think it was a she actually made a copy of this and highlighted it a little bit, made it a little bit better, and made this logo for them, the Devil's Clown. All right, so it's this dance with the devil. All right, so what I'm going to do here, they actually have a slogan. Whoops, I need to make it smaller. No, I need to make it bigger. So I need to make it smaller here. Bigger, 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 bigger. There we go. This is the right size. This is 100% now. All right, so it says whiskey should be dark as hell, strong as death, and sweet as love. Good slogan, I must admit. All right, and so over here you can see Sophie, she's the devil. We have Alexander, he's the clown. We have Flo, he's the person who enjoys whiskey. And we have Kai, who is the guru, who is the whiskey guru there. All right, so you can see the bottle, and I think that's very well done with the graphics here. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to share my screen again, and I'm just going to ask you to watch this, to look at the Instagram account. So Devil's Clown underline whiskey. If I click on here, you can see the team. Florian and Sophie are a pair, a couple, I think. And then Alexander isn't, so he's not part of, but he's part of the trio there. If you watch the video here, this is actually the vertical train in Wuppertal, and you can see here their logo in the background, and this is back behind them, the real building that has the real thing here. All right, they're doing a good thing with their graphics. So that's what Wuppertal's famous for, is that hanging suspended train. This was at the tasting at the German Whiskey Fair. I'm a guest nation there with my bourbon. That's Sophie. So here we have Devil's Clown, where they had a motorcycle in front of it. That's Alexander. He's doing his job. He is one of the guys with the ideas. If you look here, you can actually see the cask samples here. This is from the 11th of December 2020, so two and a half years ago. The bourbon and the sherry are almost the same color, but the ex-Islay isn't. So, and you can see the Devil's Clowns here. I think they're 80-liter casks, so these are casks that have actually been made smaller. So it used to be an ex-bourbon. So Wilhelm Ada here in Germany did deconstruction of the cask and made them smaller, down to 80 liters. And so there's that sherry, the bourbon, and the ex-Islay cask there. Here's Florian. And here's the Devils Clown. All right, very, very good. So I think this is an excellent, excellent way to launch a new product. And my question of the day is, what other bottles do you know of in the States and Ireland and Germany and Scotland, somewhere in the world, that has such a unique message? I mean, come on, that's just that's either you love it or you hate it. I must say I enjoy it. I say Medusalim here with the evil clown Krusty from Simpsons. I don't know. All right, so on the nose, this is 65.5%, and I must admit, we don't know what distillery it is. Single malt from Germany, but there's a non-disclosure agreement where the name of the distillery is not, they're not able to name it. I asked and she said, I said, can you say north or south? She said, no. In East or West Germany? No. I was like, Sophie, give me a little bit. No. And so even Kai, the guy, the guru, I asked, and he said, no, Jason, I can tell you there are 4 different distilleries at the moment I get my juice from, but it's one of those 4, and I won't tell you any of those names. And so that's that. All right, at least they stay true to the non-disclosure agreements. The NDAs. All right, very fruity. There is a very, very minuscule amount of peat going on here, but very, very supportive, very nice. Vanilla from the bourbon and a lot of black cherry, a little bit of plum, very dark fruits going on here. This is actually very, very nice. And you think about it, it's just 3 years of age. So a 3-year-old, 55, 56. Sorry, let's go this way. A 3-year-old, 65.5% ABV. In Germany, we have to say 5 and 60. And so sometimes I get confused when I want to say 65. So 0.5%. Every single of the 300 bottles is hand labeled. So I have bottle number 200 and was it 88 or what is it? 283. And so there's 300 bottles. And every single year they're going to put out another 300. At the whiskey fair, they actually sold about 100 of these bottles. So they still have 200 left. And I hope that they get to sell more of those in the future because I think this is, oops, my water glass was there. It's very, very interesting. All right, let's try this. Now, I normally don't go around tasting 65.5% German single malt alcohol, but now the alcohol is there. It does numb a little bit, but it's 65.5. Behind the alcohol, there's this fruitiness. There's the vanilla. There's not too much of a wood moment, but there's a little bit of wood supporting everything. There's a tiny, tiny little bit of that from the ex-Islay cask, helping, supporting, and giving some complexity. I recently tried to blend a good German whiskey, and I had 5 different casks. Was that right? I had 2 bourbons, 2 sherries, and 1 peat. And I tried to blend them. I just couldn't get it. I could not get those 2 bourbons, 1 sherry, 1 Islay. So I had 4. And at the end, I basically filled up the sherry, put a smidge, like 1%, 2% of the bourbon in there, and that was it. I have a blended. I made my blend. The sherry is better, and first of all, I added a little bit of the peat, and then I added more, and then I added less. It just didn't work, and this works, and this is very, very nice. So I'm going to take this down to about 50%, and then I'm going to take it down to about 35%. I want to see what this whiskey is really made out of. Now, this is cask strength, 65.5. Very interesting. When they first did their press release, they said 64.5. And when they did the second press release, they said 65. And when they finally filled up the bottles, it was 65.5. So it was actually going up in percentage. So I assume that this went into the cask at 63.5. And then the first time there was like a teaser. Oh, we have this new whiskey coming out. It's now 64. And it was 64 then, or 64 and a half. And then before we started bottling, they measured, oh, look, it's now 65. And then after they really bottled, it's like, wow, this is now 65.5. And especially in the hotter climates, more humidity, alcohol will go up in comparison to Scotland, where we have cooler climates, and then the alcohol will go down over time. But here it was actually going up, and that makes sense. All right, so we have it down at 50%. Mm-hmm. Mm, mm, mm. I get a little bit of homemade cherry jam. I got almost like a cherry pie. A lot of cherry going on in here. That sherry is very cherry like, and perfect strength, 50% around there. The 65.5 is I'm too weak. I'm sorry. Now that was good, but this is much better. But the good thing is we bought a bottle like this, 0.375. So 0.35 is what we have here for 54 euros and 90 cents. So 55 euros. So that's 110 euros per liter, which makes it about 72 euros for a 0.7 liter bottle. It's a lot of money for a 3-year-old whiskey, but it is 65.5%. It is good. I'm going to give this a C plus for taste. I'm going to give it a C minus for value for money. I would give it an extra point just for the bottle and the design and the label. Also in the nose, it's okay at around 50%. And now I'm going to take it down to about 35%. And if I do this, many whiskeys break. They're just flat. There's nothing left. This, on contrary, mm, mm. What is really, really amazing is the mouthfeel gets better each time I add water. Now there's a thickness, there's a viscosity, there's a wonderful texture of this whiskey. It's oily. Um, Down now at about 35%, there's a little bit of that ex-Islay peat coming through without ruining it, but rather supporting it and giving it some complexity and depth. This is a very, very good whiskey. Not only is the marketing well done, but also the whiskey construction is what I'm going to call it. The blending, the constructing of this whiskey was expertly done, in my opinion. Kai Hofmann, the guru behind this, I must admit, well done. And then Sophie, Florian, and Alexander, I must commend you on your adventureness and entrepreneurial risk taking to bring a brand new brand of a undisclosed distillery in Germany to our German market. Well done. So good stuff. So please write in the comments what other brands have you seen that can actually top this, or is this untoppable for a brand new um, design and brand entry for a product? See you very soon. Whiskey Jason here. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.